Why are you an adult that's collecting kids' toys? It's one of those comments that keep bumping up on the channel, probably by people who aren't in the bubble, who aren't collecting themselves, who have no way how this is, socially acceptable to go out and about and trying to find these awesome little plastic figures everywhere.
So the question is, why do we collect? Alright, why did I start collecting? I've always collected since I was a kid, teenager. G.I. Joes, and a couple of Spider-Man. And then I stopped late teenage years, especially when I joined the military. I stopped collecting. And then I think in 2001, I started collecting Spawn figures because I was stationed in Iceland and we didn't really have like Walmart or Target in Iceland. So the only way that I could get figures was through Amazon. And back then, Amazon was mainly focused on selling books at that time. They would sell CDs, movies here and there, but it wasn't as vast as what it is today. And I was able to buy a couple of figures. And during that time frame, I was all into Spawn. So I was just buying Spawn figures here and there. So I started collecting then, 2001 time frame. And then when I left, I came back to the States, and I don't even think I bought anything when I got back to the States. I went to New Mexico. I lived there for a few years, and I don't ever recall buying any figures in New Mexico. That's crazy. So I literally stopped buying figures or toys and all that stuff. And then I just recently started buying stuff again in I think literally like right after COVID. I started buying some figures, just Marvel Legends, Spider-Man. But going back to the question, why do we collect? I don't know. I think I started collecting just because I have adult money now, so I can pretty much buy whatever I want. But the fact that, I was mainly all into Spider-Man and G.I. Joes, and so I just started collecting so that way I can, have that nostalgic feeling of being young again, because that's all I did was play with G.I. Joes, and I had a lot of fun playing with G.I. Joes. I just had all the imagination that you could think about as a kid. I lived by the beach, so having all that sand by the beach and with your figures, that was pretty cool. You can just do anything with that. But yeah, I think I collected just for the nostalgic feeling, reliving my early 80s years as a child, because at that time it was great. Everything was pretty cool. The Saturday morning cartoons was awesome. So anything that I watched, like a Saturday morning cartoon, I try to collect, like the figures or vinyl figures or action figures, whatever. But I think that is mainly it, just for the nostalgia. But G.I. Joe's, it's getting out kind of crazy with the G.I. Joe classifieds. It's getting out of hand. It's just way too many figures coming out. But they are so freaking badass. I love it, especially the vehicles that they're coming out with G.I. Joe classifieds. I got the Rattler, I got 2 Ostrikers, I got the Vamp, I got 3 Stingers. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I collect for the nostalgia. That's what I do. And I like to do toy photography, so I like to buy all kinds of figures and just pose them and take pictures of them. So that's what I like to do. I like to have that imagination and just pose them up.
Because it's true, when watching toy hunting or collecting channels, you'll often see comments like this. And I get it, it's just not something that everybody understands. But when I really thought about it, I have to ask myself, why do we collect? And this goes beyond just toy collecting.
So
anything can be a collectible after all. Rocks, stamps, cars, but we mostly associate collecting with things people spend a lot of money on. Now within our collecting bubble, we dabble in sports memorabilia, trading cards, retro games.
See, I used to collect a lot of comic books when I was a kid, but I don't do that anymore. The reason why I collected comic books as a child was more of the art form. I used to love drawing when I was younger. I used to love to be able to draw figures like, like Spider-Man and all that. I wasn't the greatest artist, but I was learning. I was still brand new at it, and I actually enjoyed it. But now, I just don't do it. I just take pictures now.
Comics and anything tied to pop culture. So let's dive into the psychology behind toy collecting, and let's uncover the real reasons why we love finding these little treasures. Is collecting really just nostalgia? Is it finding a connection to the past? At first glance, collecting seems simple. It's just about nostalgia, right? And for many, that's a huge part of it, or at least how they got into it. But nostalgia isn't the only reason we collect. There are multiple layers to this, and they go deep.
I want to hear this. I want to hear what are the other reasons why we collect. This is going to be a good one.
Than you might think. Obviously, there's the nostalgia and emotional connection. We collect because we want to reconnect with our past. Toys aren't just the objects, they're tied to specific memories and emotions. Holding an action figure from your childhood can bring back that exact feeling of unboxing it for the first time. It's like a time machine in plastic form. That's why whenever you rediscover a childhood favorite at a flea market, you get hit with a wave of memories, or you finally find that one toy you always wanted but you never got as a kid. And then there's
I never got as a kid, and this is why, having adult money is awesome. I can pretty much buy whatever I want now. Obviously to an extent. I'm not gonna go all crazy and just buy just to buy, which sometimes I feel like I've done. I buy just to buy, which I'm really, really, really trying to step back from that now, because my office space is getting too packed, and I'm not liking the crowded look of my shelf. I like to be able to just display my favorite figures now. I want to have a clean look to my my display.
There's also a sense of completion to a toy line you loved growing up, but you were never able to complete as a kid, as if you're fulfilling an unfinished chapter of your past. And I can definitely say that getting into the hobby was more about, indeed, reliving a couple pieces of my childhood, so I can totally agree with that statement. But there's more. Then once you start actually hunting for this stuff, you get hooked on the thrill of the hunt. Nostalgia.
He's not wrong. The thrill of the hunt, the whole thrill of the hunt, going to estate sales, garage sales, Ross, Target, Walmart, GameStop, just when I get off of work or the weekends, we would go out and just go to the stores, and I would just go straight to the toy aisle. Or when we go to garage sales or estate sales, I look for vintage toys, vintage anything that reconnects me to the past. But yeah, it's that dopamine. The dopamine that hits, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And it's crazy because, when you don't toy hunt for a few days, you're kind of like, you're getting that itch. You're like, I need to buy something, which is not good, by the way, which is not good. So, if I haven't gone to the toy store or anything like that, then guess where I go? I go to Amazon. I go online and I start looking to see when's the next purchase.
Alone doesn't really explain why we keep on collecting. There's also The hunt, that rush of excitement when tracking down a rare piece, finding a deal, or finally scoring a real grill item. There's a dopamine spike when you find an underpriced vintage toy at a flea market. There's an adrenaline rush of the last-second eBay auction win, but there's also the frustration of missing out, only to be fueled for your next search. And I think the thrill of the hunt is really still why I keep doing this after 10 years. Finding something that you really wanted and finding it hopefully at a good price and connecting with some people along the way. Because at that...
Yeah, so I started, the whole social media, and I rebranded my channel to be a toy tuber, toy collector, and on YouTube, TikTok, and all that, Instagram. And yeah, I have connected with people online, and we have become pretty good friends because we have everything in common, like with toys and stuff, the action figures that we buy. So yeah, this is pretty cool, having that commonality with people and just enjoying the toys that we buy.
Attached to this collecting, there's also a sense of identity and belonging. The way you collect says a lot about who you are or how you like to be perceived. Some collectors chase only mint-on card figures, others love just the thrill of a good story of where they got it, like rescuing a forgotten toy from a thrift store bin. But once you have that identity and that belonging, you belong to a group. That's why collecting also creates a really good community or a sense of a community. Whether it's at conventions, in Facebook groups, or just watching toy hunting videos and finding people who share your passion, this is something that really makes the hobby even more rewarding.
Yeah, just sharing your passion for the love of the toys, just sharing the experience, sharing the cool finds you get, and I don't know, it's just pretty cool. But yeah, that's why I collect. I collect for the experience. I collect for the nostalgia, the emotional feeling, the reconnection of my younger childhood, and the hobby of taking photography, taking photos of the toys and posing them, just having that imagination. So, and then connecting with other people with the same interest and same passion as I do, and just sharing our stories and all that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm just going to end it with this. I'm not going to finish the whole video, but I just found this channel here, Ed's Retro Geek Out, and I just want to answer that question, why do we collect? And again, there's so many reasons as to why, but I collect it because it just makes me happy. That's, but yeah, it makes me happy. Alright, so if you guys just joining in on this this video here, if you found my channel, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm having the goal of reaching 2,000 by the end of this year. I literally have a few months left, so I need to get to 2,000. Once I get to 2,000, I'm doing a giveaway, an action figure giveaway or set. It's the G.I. Joe Classifieds Cold Slither. So if you guys are into that, make sure you guys subscribe and give me a like and comment down below. Alright, until next time, I'll see you guys later.